Hey everybody, and welcome to the Bullring this week, presented by SRI Performance. I'm Alan Dietz, glad to be joined this week by JD Boucher from Cars Tour Weekly.
Abandoning us.
She's very busy. She's
She is a
very,
very
very
busy
busy.
woman. Yeah.
But an apt not substitute.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying.
Okay. How about we tell you who the guests are going to be today? Keith Rocco is going to join us after a big weekend at the World Series at Thompson. Speaking of big weekends, we're going to talk to AJ Allmendinger about his win at Charlotte. Going to talk to Dan Redmond about the Winchester 400 weekend and more. Also, Roger Mesiemore from Hendrick Motorsports about the Hendrick Engine Builder Showdown. And Dylan Gosby is going to join us. He was the champion of the new Super Late Model Series up in the Canadian Maritimes this year, and we're going to talk to him about his year. And I think this week you and I were pretty low key this weekend, right?
Yeah, I was low key. I had a weekend off. Yeah. I utilized that, but starting this weekend, I'm back at it again for like 3 weeks straight.
Yeah,
that's okay. It's fun.
Going to Carteret this coming weekend.
Yes, I'm in Carteret this weekend for the GNSS finale, and then next weekend I'm at Tri-County, and then Caraway for the North-South Shootout.
Yep, so lots to look forward to for you JD Boucher fans. You know where to stalk her at now. When we come back, our first guest is going to be the winner of the Outlaw Open Modifieds at Thompson, Keith Rocco.
SRI Performance and Stock Car Steel are your all-inclusive motorsports warehouses with more than 450 product lines. They have everything to put you in victory lane, from professional racing to street performance. SRI and Stock Car Steel have you covered with leading brands as well as a large selection of steel, aluminum, and plastics. With locations in North Carolina and Indiana, access has never been easier. SRI has the world's largest inventory of used parts. SRI Performance and Stock Car Steel and Aluminum, your one-stop shops for everything racing.
Don't miss the 21st annual John Blewett III North-South Shootout in memory of Charles Kepley at Caraway Speedway, November 2nd through the 4th, plus championship races for the Cars Tour Late Model Stock and Pro Late Models. The ground-pounding Tour-type Modifieds race for $10,000 to win. Also racing the 602 Modifieds and more. It's the 21st annual North-South Shootout at Caraway Speedway, November 2nd through the 4th. For reserved tickets, camping, or info, visit carawayspeedway.com.
5-star bodies, the most advanced bodies on the market. Aerodynamically engineered, manufactured from the highest grade and lightest weight materials. Tested tough for optimum performance. The highest quality and most durable products you'll find anywhere. Our products help racers around the world reach victory lane. Winning never looked so good. Faster, lighter, stronger, better. 5-star.
Hi, I'm Jake Johnson, and you're watching Racing America.
Welcome back to the Bullring, presented by SRI Performance. Alan and JD here with you today. And on the pole, a big winner this past weekend at Thompson Speedway as part of the World Series. That is Keith Rocco. Keith joining us now. And Keith, I understand you got a little assistance in the shop today?
Yeah, my kids had the day off yesterday and today, and my daughter's at her friend's house, and my son's out here taking one of the wrecked race cars apart from Friday night.
Yeah, well, that's the only way they can learn, right?
Yeah, he wants to race and be a part of it. He's learning quick.
Well, tell me about Sunday. You go out there and you get to win in the Sunoco Modifieds. And as we'll show a little bit later here during our highlight segment, that Outlaw Open race was pretty interesting for you from start to finish.
It was. We got the engine back on Thursday and worked a little Thursday to get it in. And then Friday morning, I tried to do as much as I could before I left for Stafford. And we really didn't have intentions of making it on Saturday. And then when Saturday rained out, we jumped in the car and came back and buttoned the car up and took it to the racetrack. And we were there for Sunday. But it was definitely quite the interesting turn of events. we were up front. I think we were third at the time, and the air cleaner came loose, and luckily the yellow came out. And I says, we got to pit and tighten this up. And the pits were closed, and I seen it rattling around. And sure enough, I went one more lap till the pits opened. Came down pit road, and the top air cleaner top flew off at the beginning of pit road. So my brother actually ran to the end of pit road and grabbed it, ran back, and he took a little shindig on the way back and busted up his knees. And we got the air cleaner back on, made it back out, and it was one heck of a race. We got spun out once. We got knocked out of the lead once. We actually lost the clutch pedal throughout the race. The bleeder dragged, and we had one heck of a pit stop, came in, had to start it in gear and get pushed out. So to come back and win the race, man, that's one for the storybook.
Yeah, it sounds like really, really hectic. Like, I can't even believe you guys overcame that. When you've got all that going on and there's just everything you touch is just going wrong, what do you do for your mindset to say, okay, like, I need to get back in the game. I need to focus on trying to win this race. Like, how do you go about that? You've been doing this so long.
It's tough, when the air cleaner fell off and you fall out of third at such an early point in the race. It's difficult, but we go to the racetrack to pass cars, and that's what we're there for. You pass the cars, you win the race. So we went back out. I think we all drove all the way up well into the top 10, and then we pitted and made some adjustments and went back out, and we kept plugging away and passing cars, and before you knew it, we were out front.
So over the weekend, it was announced that Chris Machad and the folks at ACT and Tom Mayberry and the folks at PASS are going to come back and help promote the oval races at Thompson again in 2024. Based on what you've seen the last couple of years and the overall scene in Connecticut, which is still strong, if you had any suggestions for them, what do you think it needs to maybe make those races between the Icebreaker and the World Series work a little bit better?
It's tough. It's nothing on his part. Thompson over the years has, at one point when I was young and, working with Christopher, it was every Thursday. Every Thursday you went to Thompson and raced throughout the summer. There was never any nights off. And then, they built the road course, the schedule changed. They ran Thursdays, they ran Wednesdays, they ran Sundays. There was no set schedule for the past 8 years, So when that happened, it took a toll on racing there. People went elsewhere. They found other things to do. People like a set schedule. They like to know in advance. And, Machad's really doing a good job, and he's really putting a lot on the line to revamp this place. And, Icebreaker World Series, that's always a killer show. The stands are always packed. The pits are beyond packed. It's always a great weekend, but it's those summer shows that kind of tough during the week. I don't know if Sundays are the answer. I don't know if the weekdays are the answer, but you know what? He's doing everything he can to keep this place going.
Any plans for the rest of the season here as it winds down?
Yeah, we're going to do the tri-track race at Waterford here in a couple weeks. Looking really forward to that with the 57 that we just won with this past weekend, and got to see what we can pull off for the fall final. That race was already supposed to be in the books. I was kind of committed to do some other stuff with my team cars, so I'm going to have to see if I could, put something in line to make it work and try to get myself out there.
Well, good luck on making those end of season races. Congratulations on the win, and we'll talk to you again here real soon.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
All right, Keith Rocco coming off that big weekend at Thompson. Speaking of big weekends, as we said, AJ Allmendinger.
Yes, huge. Oh, it was so beautiful to see. I enjoyed it so much.
He had a pretty good weekend. We're going to talk to him about his win at Charlotte when we come back.
Ready to take your brand to the next level? At Victory Lane Design, we can help. If you are looking for a professional website, cutting-edge logo, a hero card that separates you from the pack, or video production to keep you connected with your fans, then check out VictoryLaneDesign.com, where winning counts.
HMS Motorsport is the leader in motorsport safety, providing the most advanced driver safety products to NASCAR, IndyCar, sprint cars, and sports cars drivers. From grassroots to professional racers, HMS Motorsport has over 25 years' experience outfitting drivers with the best gear on the market. Equipped with first-hand product knowledge, our experts are ready to help you select the best harness belts, seats, head restraints, helmets, and racing attire for your type of racing. HMS is even the exclusive importer for Schroed belts, Schubert helmets, and Valero base layers. Visit one of our stores in Mooresville, North Carolina, or Danvers, Massachusetts, or check us online at hmsmotorsport.com, where you can learn the details of our products and order online. Safety starts here.
You're watching Racing America.
I'm super proud of AJ, even standing in victory lane and looking at AJ celebrating and doing what he does. I'm just super proud of him. So it makes me not emotional, but I'm just super proud of this team and what they've done. You know, I don't know if I'd say I don't know what our expectations were actually this year. But I'd say we struggled, and I know these guys feel like they're way better than we've actually performed. But I mean, even being able to get into victory lane today, I think is really big for this team and for AJ and for Matt and for Chris. So it's really cool, really proud. So that's how I felt, actually, just looking at AJ while he was celebrating, while he's doing all the interviews, and while he's getting all the pictures taken. But this guy has meant the world to me, meant the world to our team, and that's how I feel.
Well, that's what Matt Collick had to say after AJ Allmendinger's big win at the Charlotte Roval on Sunday. And the road to the Cup continues now as it'll go to Las Vegas. And being joined now by the winner at Charlotte, AJ Allmendinger. AJ, congratulations. And I know it's got to mean a lot to you. Well, I mean, everybody could see how much it meant to you after the race on Sunday. But in the media center, you know, all you guys were there. And Matt was talking about how important you are to the team and how special you are to him. I mean, it's really, you've been with a lot of different teams throughout your racing career, but this is really a special relationship, it seems.
It really is. And it just with Matt and Chris and all the men and women at College Racing, but definitely Matt and Chris, because, you know, at the end of the day, they're my bosses, but it never feels like that. They're some of my best friends. When you come to a race team like this, that when I walked into the shop, really, I think it was April or May of 2019, you know, at that point, they had won no races, and there was no banners hanging up in the shop. And obviously, Ross was able to get the first win for the team at Daytona, and it's carried on to as many wins now as the organization has in Xfinity, and now 2 Cup wins. So it's fun when you're able to build a race team together like that and really make me feel like I'm a huge part of it. I've been so fortunate enough in my life to be at teams like Team Penske and to drive for the King, Richard Petty, and things like that. And you're a part of that history. But when you're kind of growing that history and building that resume, as you would say, together, it makes it a different type of special. And Matt and Chris have just always made me feel like I'm a huge part of this team.
Yeah, you talk about how you've driven for a lot of great teams, like legends, really. What is it about the culture of Colleague itself? I mean, just not even aside from, you know, Matt and so, what is it about the culture of the team that makes it such a special place? I know several people that work there, and everybody that works there is extremely happy, and that's not something you always see everywhere.
Yeah, definitely. It's really just, it starts with Matt Collick's attitude. And when he started this, he's not a racer. This was kind of his fun outlet. And he's really grown to love motorsports, love NASCAR especially. And, you know, it's a trickle-down effect because it not being this is what we have to succeed in, that attitude of making sure we get people that want to be there and everybody's enjoying it. And don't get me wrong. I mean, you should have been there about earlier this year. Nobody was having fun because we were struggling a lot. So it's not that, hey, if we win, it's a bonus. At the end of the day, we're there to win, but just that the attitude that Matt and Chris have, and it carries through the shop. And, you get people that are passionate about college racing and being there. And it's enjoyable. And that's what makes it great in times like this, but really easier when everybody's struggling, because there's no finger pointing. It's easily that you could say it's the cars, or it's the driver, or it's this person or that person. But it's never that. Everybody kind of digs their heels in, puts their head down, and say, okay, as a group, this is what we have to do to get better. So it makes moments like pulling into victory lane at Charlotte in a cup race even more special, because everybody's worked so hard to get there.
So you've done this cup grind for a long time. Colleague with you as a driver, and Justin and Ross established yourself as a championship team in the Xfinity Series. You had strong runs in the Cup Series on a partial schedule the last few years. Has it surprised you how this year's gone, or having the experience that you do? Is it just part of the game whenever you become a full-time team?
Yeah, honestly, it's just a part of it. Last year, we had a lot of strong runs, especially at the end of the year. It's part of the reason of why I said I'd like to go back to Cup and keep trying to build this program. But knowing also, you give teams like Gibbs and Hendrick and Penske and Stuart Haas and so on a whole offseason to work on a car that, the previous year, nobody had a chance to work on. Heck, at most of those races, especially the first half of the season, you didn't have enough parts to get to the racetrack. So you were just trying to build the race car, get it to the racetrack, and then really develop it as you raced it. So you give those teams a whole offseason to start developing and finding where the areas on these race cars are for speed and things like that. Showing up to Daytona, you're probably not going to be quite as competitive as we were at the end of last year. Now, we were off more than I expected, and we definitely got behind, and it took till about May or June to really start to figure that out. And since then, we've had more speed, but it's a grind. Even when it's going well, it's hard, and then when you're struggling, it's even more difficult. So I felt like from basically the middle half of the season on, that's kind of what I expected us to be. We just honestly got too far behind at the beginning of the year and put ourselves in a hole.
Well, you definitely weren't in a hole on Sunday. It was incredible to see, and I saw you run into the stand up in the stands, and the fans were just embracing you. What was it like to be able to do that here at home? I mean, you can go home and get in your bed. You might see these people at the grocery store later. How awesome was that?
Yeah, I've always said that I wear my emotions on my sleeve. Everybody saw how much it meant to win that race. I put a lot of that pain and anguish of the whole team when we're struggling on my shoulders of trying to raise our game and for us to be better. So there's definitely times where, I always say I have the best life possible. And sometimes it's the reason why I'm the most miserable person on the planet, because it's not good enough. I want to wake up and be better the next day and raise us to a new level. So when we're able to win like we did on Sunday, you see those raw emotions come out. I love sharing it with everybody. For me, I think all of us, to a certain extent, as kids, we fall in love with the sport for one reason or another. But I've been that kid in the grandstands, and I'm not even saying that they have to be fans of me, but you see somebody come running the grandstands after a race and celebrate with you. Maybe you're not a fan, and now you love NASCAR racing because you got to experience something cool. So that's just all part of it, and I'm so fortunate that I got to share that.
Well, I've always said, and I think back to whenever I was a kid, and you're AJ Allmendinger at home right now, but when you put that fire suit on, when all you guys put those fire suits on, it's like a superhero to a kid, and to go and share that with those fans was awful special. Before I let you go, I have got to ask you about 2024, because we're hearing a lot about you maybe going back to the Xfinity Series. How does it lay out as we stand right now, and what do you want to do?
Well, I preferably love to keep building the Cup program. I mean, that's my first choice. But Matt and Chris, I've told them since day one, especially as I went full time in 2021 back in the Xfinity Series and what we've done over the last 3 years, just full time racing, that I'm always going to do what they ask, because they have given me more opportunities and allowed my dreams to come true by kissing the bricks twice at Indy, winning 2 more Cup races, winning on ovals. When I ended what I thought was my full-time racing career in 2018, I had 3 wins in NASCAR, and I think now I'm at 20 or something like that, and I've gotten to kiss the bricks. So the point of that is that I'm always going to do what they ask. Part of this sport, unfortunately, is it takes a lot of money, and that's what they're searching for. And, I'd love to be a part of the Cup side of it. I'm still going to race Cup next year, no matter what, whether it's a part-time basis, the road course races, or we do more races. So it's not like, I think people saw that emotion and thought, man, this maybe is the last time he's ever racing Cup this year. No, that's not it. It's the emotion was just real because it's a Cup win, but I'm always going to do what they want. And, we're working on those plans. They may already have them lined up and I just don't know yet, but I'm going to be in a College Racing Chevy for the rest of my career, for however long that is. And I hope it's a long time.
Well, we do too, because I'll tell you, the sport's better for having you in it.
Thank you.
Congratulations on the win, man. I don't know anybody that would be disappointed seeing you and that whole team win. So congratulations, and I really appreciate you joining us today.
Well, I appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, that's AJ Allmendinger, the winner at Charlotte. When we come back, we'll take you racing across America.
SRI Performance and Stock Car Steel are your all-inclusive motorsports warehouses with more than 450 product lines. They have everything to put you in victory lane, from professional racing to street performance. SRI and Stock Car Steel have you covered with leading brands, as well as a large selection of steel, aluminum, and plastics. With locations in North Carolina and Indiana, access has never been easier. SRI has the world's largest inventory of used parts. SRI Performance and Stock Car Steel and Aluminum, your one-stop shops for everything racing.
Don't miss the 21st annual John Blewett III North-South Shootout in memory of Charles Kepley at Caraway Speedway, November 2nd through the 4th, plus championship races for the Cars Torn late model stock and pro late models. The ground-pounding tour-type modifieds race for $10,000 to win. Also racing the 602 modifieds and more. It's the 21st annual North-South Shootout at Caraway Speedway, November 2nd through the 4th. For reserved tickets, camping, or info, visit carawayspeedway.com.
Welcome to the new home for race fans, Racing America. Live short track racing. Exclusive team content.
I bet, that's what they all say. Any NASCAR fan is really a short track fan at heart.
Behind the scenes access. From grassroots to NASCAR, join us at the home for race fans everywhere. Racing America, it's in our DNA.
I think short track racing is important to the future of stock car racing and oval racing, because it's the root, it's the birthplace of it. Before asphalt and concrete, NASCAR raced on dirt short tracks like I grew up racing on, and the sport grew from there. So it's important to not lose sight of where you come from. It's also really important to stay sharp in those routes, because more times than not, the more time you spend on different types of race tracks, different types of race cars, it sharpens your skills, and it helps when you hit the big tracks on Sundays and go for the big bucks, go for the big wins. So it's extremely important as something to reflect on, but also to continue to help improve your skill as a driver.
Glad to have you here with us on the Bullring, presented by SRI Performance. I'm Alan Dietz. Glad to have JD Boucher here with us today. Enjoying yourself?
So far, so good. You haven't ran me off yet.
Okay, well, that's a good thing. And do you know, I always ask Jess at this time, what time it is?
It's time to go racing across America.
Ooh, that's even better.
I've been watching.
Congratulations. You did really good there. She's right. Let's go racing across America starting Friday. Thompson Speedway in Connecticut. Day 1 of the World Series. Milton Cat MRS Modifieds. Austin Beers in 00 grabs the lead at the start from the pole. On lap 20, Jake Johnson in the old blue number 3 takes the lead from Beers. Johnson led until contact between him and Ronnie Williams sent him spinning with 19 laps to go. Next caution wave with 11 laps to go, and championship contender Matt Swanson slid through the grass in turn 2. Williams leads the rest of the way for the win over Teddy Hodgson and Woody Pitcat, while Kirk Alexander edged out Swanson for the MRS title. Friday, day 1 of the APC Autumn Colors Classic at Peterborough Speedway up in Ontario. Outlaw Midgets racing on Friday. Jason Semple takes the lead at the start over the 15 of Dave Bradley. Caution waves on lap 4 after Derek Millman ends up on his side in turn 2. He was okay. Bradley makes the move for the lead on Semple with 5 laps to go. He leads the rest of the way to capture the Outlaw Midget win. To Saturday, Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. Pro late models in their last chance for these drivers to hit the track before the All-American 400 weekend. Defending track champion Dylan Fetcho in the 89, bouncing back from a crash at 5 flags. He leads early, but his bad luck continues as he slows on lap 14, handing the lead to Jackson Boone. Caution flag comes out on lap 40 after a crash between LB Skaggs and the 4 of Blake Robertson. Boone goes unchallenged the rest of the way for another dominating win over Dawson Sutton and Jim Wall. And JD, Jackson Boone has really been killing it here. And this Kawiki Driver Development Scholarship is going to go right to the wire.
God, yes.
They have had such a great year. Saturday, South Boston Speedway, Cars Pro Late Models. Nick Loden and the 28 of Cole Butcher on the front row. Butcher taking the early advantage. A caution with 4 laps to go for Chris Wright. The 15 of Aiden King sets up a dash for the checkers. On the restart, Butcher takes Loden high in turn 1. But Loden fights back to take the lead. He holds off Butcher for his first career Cars Pro Late Model win. Then, it was time for the Cars Late Model stocks. Lane Riggs and the 08 of Deke McCaskill on the front row. Lap 18, the 17 of Stacy Purrier spins across the track, sending him and Minnie Tyrell into the front stretch wall. Riggs would pull alongside McCaskill several times over the final laps, but just didn't have enough to clear him. McCaskill edges Riggs out at the line. And finally, Sunday, back at Thompson Speedway, World Series Outlaw Open Modifieds going for $10,000 to win. On the outside of row 1, Sammy Ramo takes the lead from Jake Johnson. Early in the race, Keith Rocco dealing with a mechanical issue, which he told us about, an air cleaner, right? But he would fight back. Not before getting turned on the back straightaway, though, just shy of halfway. After a cycle of pit stops for the leaders, Ramo would find himself back out front with less than 20 laps to go. But he and Georgia Bassett Jr. got together, ending the night for both of them. You can also find on social media how they're not continued after that, but we won't get into that. Somehow Rocco claws his way back to the front to score a win over last week's guest, Kyle Bonsignor and Austin Beers.
A lot of excitement.
A lot of excitement.
Lots of things.
You really set us up for a great segue, because speaking of exciting, the Vors Compact Touring Series, and even more exciting than that, Dan Redmond. He'll join us here on the Bullring when we come back.
What creates a winning combination? Quality, focus, discipline, and most importantly, speed. At Pepperjack Kennels, we provide exceptional water and land training services for hardworking retrievers. From leading in the field to leading on the track, together we establish winning dogs and a winning team. Devoted to retrievers and motorsports, we are Pepperjack Kennels. Visit us online to learn more.
Ready to take your brand to the next level? At Victory Lane Design, we can help. If you are looking for a professional website, cutting-edge logo, a hero card that separates you from the pack, or video production to keep you connected with your fans, Then check out VictoryLaneDesign.com, where winning counts.
SRI Performance and Stock Car Steel are your all-inclusive motorsports warehouses with more than 450 product lines. They have everything to put you in victory lane, from professional racing to street performance. SRI and Stock Car Steel have you covered with leading brands as well as a large selection of steel, aluminum, and plastics. With locations in North Carolina and Indiana, access has never been easier. SRI has the world's largest inventory of used parts. SRI Performance and Stock Car Steel and Aluminum, your one-stop shops for everything racing.
Welcome to the new home for race fans, Racing America. Live short track racing. Exclusive team content.
I bet, that's what they all say. Any NASCAR fan is really a short track fan at heart.
Behind the scenes access. From grassroots to NASCAR, join us at the home for race fans everywhere. Racing America, it's in our DNA.
Glad to have you back with us on the Bullring this afternoon. She's JD Boucher. I'm Alan Dietz. And now our ASA list personality, and you'll end up seeing why in just a minute. Of course, Dan Redmond for the Vors Compact Touring Series. And Dan, the reason I put you as our ASA list personality this week is because not only is the Vors Compact Touring Series going to be a part of the Winchester 400 this weekend once again, but you guys are actually sponsoring the whole deal.
Yeah, Steve Vore is, tries to be such a good friend to grassroots racing in the Midwest and all over where he can be. And for several years now, he's been the sponsor of Vores Welding and Steel, has been the sponsor of the Winchester 400. And this year is the 52nd annual Winchester 400 presented by Vores Welding and Steel. So Steve's proud to have his name on it. We're proud to be associated with sanctioning bodies like ASA, CRA, Midwest Modifieds, and it's going to be an amazing weekend at Winchester. It's our 13th championship year at Winchester for the Jason Dietz Trailer Sales Championship Night for VCTS, and is on Friday the 13th. So I don't know whether all those Friday 13 signals are good or bad for VCTS, but it's going to be a rocking weekend.
And I want to remind everybody, too, we want folks to get out to Winchester. I know it's a place you've been to and loved.
It's my favorite short track. Please go to Winchester, people. It's literally my favorite place. There's nothing like it in the country.
But if you can't go,
catch it here
on
Racing America.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, you've gone to several Winchester 400s. I am very intrigued to know what Winchester 400 memories stick out to you. What's your favorite? What was your favorite win to see?
Oh man, JD, I started working fire crew out at Winchester Speedway like when I was 16 years old and worked fire rescue out there. And so, the guys like Rusty Wallace and Mark Martin and Alan Kowicki and Butch Miller and Dick Trickle, all those guys cutting their teeth at tracks like Winchester truly made ASA famous. It made Winchester famous. And so, you just had icons of the sport that is at one of the iconic racetracks in the country. I mean, when you throw out Winchester Speedway, you put out with names like Bristol Motor Speedway and Salem, and only the best of those best and the bravest of the bravest go to those kind of racetracks.
And I will tell you, I grew up, watching Thunder races at Winchester on ESPN, and, you'd see the sprints and the midgets and stuff there. But until you see it in person, which I had the opportunity to, I think it was 3 years ago, you can't appreciate it. I mean, it's an unbelievable place. And I know, Dan, that you can't get into a lot of detail about it right now, but I know that Steve Vore, he has really put the Vores Compact Touring Series in some great places over the last number of years, and I understand you guys are hoping to have an announcement coming up this weekend.
That would be a wonderful thing. There's still some things that's got to fall into place, but I tell you, I'm sure that Steve Vore lays awake at night trying to figure out how to make things better for our VCTS drivers and our VCTS fans. And our great partners like Racing America, because that's what, like I said, Steve is so committed to grassroots racing, and he wants to make things for the grassroots, the mom and pop racer, fun, exciting, and have the opportunities to live their dreams that I think sometimes otherwise they wouldn't get to have. I mean, we've been to tracks like Milwaukee Mile and Bristol and North Wilkesboro and Indianapolis Raceway Park. And like I said, this is the 13th race at Winchester for us. We've done 35 total events there with 24 different winners. And this weekend is going to be no exception to that. We come in, the points battle is right down to the line with brothers Tom and Trent Gosser. And I know Tom's been on the show with you before, Alan, and he only leads Trent by 9 points. And there's 105 points up for grabs. So, it's just, we have great drivers that provide exciting racing to our fans. And Steve wants to make sure that we can keep doing those things for our drivers so that they can keep doing those things for the fans.
Well, you, Steve, and everybody involved over there are credit to the sport. You are great friends of Grassroots Racers, and we appreciate you letting us be a part of it once again. Dan, have fun this weekend, and I know we'll be talking to you again real soon.
Hey, thanks for everything. We want to see everybody out at Winchester Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but if you can't be there, Racing America is the place to be.
Hey, Dan couldn't have said it any better, so I'm just going to throw us a break now.
Don't miss the 21st annual John Blewett III North-South Shootout in memory of Charles Kepley at Caraway Speedway, November 2nd through the 4th, plus championship races for the cars toward late model stock and pro late models. The ground-pounding tour-type modifieds race for $10,000 to win. Also racing the 602 modifieds and more. It's the 21st annual North-South Shootout at Caraway Speedway, November 2nd through the 4th. For reserved tickets, camping, or info, visit carawayspeedway.com.
5-star bodies, the most advanced bodies on the market, aerodynamically engineered, manufactured from the highest grade and lightest weight materials, tested tough for optimum performance. The highest quality and most durable products you'll find anywhere. Our products help racers around the world reach victory lane. Winning never looked so good. Faster, lighter, stronger, better. 5-star.
Builders ready? Yep. Good deep breath. Yep. Breathe. Full pack on that side.
Build these racing engines, fire them up, get that sound, get that smell. It's a fun 2 days.
Oh yeah, we're good. We're good.
Welcome to the new home for race fans, Racing America. Live short track racing. Exclusive team content.
I bet, that's what they all say. Any NASCAR fan is really a short track fan at heart.
Behind the scenes access. From grassroots to NASCAR, join us at the home for race fans everywhere. Racing America, it's in our DNA.
Do you guys work well together, you and your dad, or are there heated moments when you guys are working on a team together?
I mean, my dad, everyone always saw my dad, like, and people tell me this all the time. They're like, your dad's super, even keel, emotionless. I was like, well, you never saw him behind closed doors then, because my dad's and I'm guilty of the same thing. I have my dad's genes, and like light switch firecracker can go off at any minute.
Yeah.
And, dad was that way, especially, teaching me the ins and outs of motorsports and racing and dedicating yourself. And, if he thought I wasn't focused enough, he'd kind of get me in line. Dad was always pretty hard on me, but always supportive. And I liked that way of learning and growing up. I think it helps you kind of mold yourself as a human being.
Well, look for some more special interviews coming up with Caitlin Vincey and Heather DeBoe when Mike's Are Hot returns with a new episode next week. And, we're very excited here at Racing America because coming up November 8th and 9th, it'll be the Randy Dorton Hendrick Engine Builder Showdown presented by Valvoline And joining us now from Hendrick Automotive, right? Not
That's correct. Yes.
Hendrick Automotive is Roger Mesiemore. He's the vice president for fixed operations. And first off, Roger, thanks for joining us. And we've been able to broadcast this now the last couple of years. You guys have had it on HendrickEBS.com. What excites you about this opportunity to get the professional? Well, everybody's professional, but get the guys from the sport into engine building along with the guys from Hendrick Automotive Group.
Well, there's really no other event that brings the two entities together like this, and so you have the opportunity for our technicians to enter the campus, the world, the culture of Hendrick Motorsports, and there's just no other opportunity to do that to this level. And so the beauty of that is a lot of relationships will develop out of that will last for a lifetime, and it's really special to see this competition creates such a necessity for teamwork that if you don't develop that relationship, if you don't have that chemistry, you don't have a chance to win.
Yeah, that's very true. So for some people who may be newer to this, is this an event people can go buy a ticket and go see? Can they go hang out? Like, what all is going to be entailed in this? Is it just the showdown? Are we just filming it, or is it something fans can hop on board to? 'Cause I think this is really cool. It's not something that's really common.
It's very unique. In fact, I don't know of any other company that does it in the
nothing
industry,
like it.
right?
Yeah.
And so what a neat vision that Mr. Hendrick had. And it's all about recognizing our people on both the Hendrick Automotive Group side and also the Hendrick Motorsport side. But the venue is closed off.
Okay.
But the production level gets better and better every year.
Yeah.
And so it is a live stream, and so viewers can tune into HendrickEngineBuilder.com and view it. And so it's the audience, I think, grows every year, and we're super excited about that. But we keep telling our guys, no matter how fancy we get, it's about you. We want to recognize their efforts and their achievements because this group is very elite. It's a very elite group.
And it's really, second nature for these guys. Like I get up in the morning and brush my teeth. These guys get up in the morning and they build engines. And it's wild to see how fast that they can do this. Again, it'll be November 8th and 9th. HendrickEBS.com and RacingAmerica.tv. You'll be able to watch it live, and we're going to have all sorts of cool things. I know your folks at Hendrick are putting together some pieces and stuff, and there's guys coming back that have done it for a number of years and new guys. Anything else that you feel like we need to know before we get to November 8th and 9th?
Well, to kind of follow up the comments you just made, the Hendrick Motorsports guys, they wake up every day and put these engines together. Our folks actually don't. A lot of
that's true.
A lot of what we do,
not a racing
it would be exactly. Yeah. We would be replacing a unit, if you will, not necessarily building an engine from the bottom up. So it's very unique to them. And if you'll notice during the competition, the motorsports guys will always take the lead on instruction, right? So
and it would be vice versa if you were doing a production engine.
Right.
And no question about it. No question about it. So going back to that communication between the partners, the strategy and the instruction, it is so critical. And so you'll see those guys, once we pair them up the night before, they won't stop talking to each other, right? They'll get to know each other. They'll get to know each other's families, what makes them tick, and then they'll start talking about, okay, well, did you see what happened last year? What can we do different? How can we speed up this and that process? And it's exciting to see. And then once you get in the throw of it, everybody has a plan, but sometimes the plan goes out the window, and then they just have to call an audible with each other and figure it out. But going back to the excitement of this event, it's probably the most exciting event that we do on an annual basis. And so when you get in that room and the energy level just raises, and all of a sudden there's a distinct smell to it. There are sounds to it that get you excited. I mean, we have people that love the sound so much that we had one guy record the starting of the engine and made it his ringtone.
Oh my
All
goodness.
right.
He should sell that.
He should
Make
sell
some
that.
money.
Yeah, we should make some money with that. But it's just so unique, and it's such an experience that you can just immerse yourself into. It's super exciting to be there. It's super exciting to watch, and we're just thrilled that our culture is such, driven by Mr. Hendrick, that all of this is to recognize our people on both sides, and it's just very, very special. And again, the bond that happens between the two entities is quite amazing. I mean, you should see these engine builders at Motorsports. They love to show off their working area, the working environment, what they do on a daily basis, and it's such a learning experience for our guys. It's
Well,
very
you're-
special.
Yeah, you're going to get to see a lot of great stuff. Again, that'll be November 8th and 9th, HendrickEBS.com or RacingAmerica.tv. The Randy Dorton Hendrick Engine Builder Showdown presented by Valvoline. Roger, thanks for joining us. Can't wait for it to get here.
It's a privilege to be here, and nice to spend some time with both of you.
Yes, thank you. Thanks for being here with us. When we come back, we're going to talk to Dylan Gosby about some New Brunswick Super Late Model Racing when we come back.
Welcome to the new home for race fans, Racing America. Live short track racing. Exclusive team content.
I bet, that's what they all say. Any NASCAR fan is really a short track fan at heart.
Behind the scenes access. From grassroots to NASCAR, join us at the home for race fans everywhere. Racing America, it's in our DNA.
SRI Performance and Stock Car Steel are your all-inclusive motorsports warehouses with more than 450 product lines. They have everything to put you in victory lane, from professional racing to street performance. SRI and Stock Car Steel have you covered with leading brands as well as a large selection of steel, aluminum, and plastics. With locations in North Carolina and Indiana, access has never been easier. SRI has the world's largest inventory of used parts. SRI Performance and Stock Car Steel and Aluminum, your one-stop shops for everything racing.
Welcome to Raceface Digital Collectible Cards. Are you a driver or a team looking to expand your brand? Want to connect with your fans, give sponsors more exposure, and earn income from all card sales? Then Raceface Digital has you covered. Digitize your brand with 5 different collectible cards. Enrollment is now open to all drivers and all series. Visit racefacedigital.com today and use invite code RA1.
Welcome back to the Bullring, presented by SRI Performance. Alan Dietz and JD Boucher here with you today. And as we have to do sometimes in racing, we're calling an audible because Dylan Gosby is a little busy today actually paying the bills.
Yeah.
So we're going to be joined by Brent Roy of the Super Late Model Series. Of course, Dylan, the champion this year. And Brent, I appreciate you stepping in last minute for your compadre there.
Yeah, no worries. It's like I said, it's not the first time I've had to do it for him, and I'm definitely not going to let him live it down for sure. But he's a busy man. He's got to pay the bills, and we appreciate that because that lets him go racing on the weekends with us.
Well, tell me about this inaugural season for the Super Late Model Series. You did a great job keeping us updated throughout the year here on Racing America. You guys up in the Canadian Maritimes, and every time I looked, you guys had full fields.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I said it in every driver's meeting. So myself and 2 other track owners got together and created a 6-race series. And I said it in every driver's meeting that, look, thank you to the teams that come out each and every weekend, because without them, it wouldn't have been what it was, right? When we put it together in the winter, we were hoping for 20 cars. It was our goal, and if we could do that, we'd be happy. And then race number 1, we had 29 cars roll through the gates, I guess. And we averaged 25 cars all summer long, with a high of 28 or 29 at Speedway 660 a couple times. So A huge thanks to the teams. We tried to create a series that was fun, was engaging for not only the teams and the drivers, but the race fans as well. And we tried to stay on top of marketing and stuff on our Facebook page, as well as getting stuff to you guys at Racing America. Your coverage of the series was awesome, and we certainly appreciate that. I wish more media outlets were that welcoming. Because ultimately, the more people find out about stuff and how exciting all this stuff is, that everybody wins.
Yeah, definitely. And I was really impressed when you guys kind of just put this together. The car count that you guys had every week, like I was really impressed. I was like, dang, because ARCA can't pull that many cars. Do you feel like maybe this is like a really untapped region? Like people up there don't realize how big racing really is?
I would have to agree with you. People don't realize how big racing is in Eastern Canada. And they think you go north and there's New England, and then there's the border, and then it's polar bears. But that's actually not the case. We got me and another guy compiled a list, and I think we got just over 70 pro late models, super late models in the area. And that does not account for people who have 2 or 3 cars. So, we have a huge market that, goes racing every weekend. And so, yeah, there was definitely some weekends that we were proud of. We had as many cars at the racetrack as what the Cars Late Model Stock Car Tour had on the same weekend.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, and that shows how healthy and I have been aware for about the last 15 years or so about what you guys are doing up in the Maritimes, and folks have seen what Cole Butcher has done this year, and it may be a surprise to them, but if you follow the Maritimes, it's not. So with this year under your belt, like you said, you did 6 races. Dylan Gosby ends up the champion. What's the formula for 24, you think?
Well, one of the reasons, and I say this to everybody, one of the reasons that this series works is at the core of its DNA is that it's not 700 races in the run of a summer. It's 6 races across 3 tracks. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. We obviously have something that works very, very well. We have a ton of marketing partners that offer up contingency sponsors, and some of them said, yeah, we want to be on board even bigger next year. So, for 2024, we got to hammer out the schedule, but unless something huge changes in the next month, it's going to be 6 more races. Format and stuff might slightly change just to kind of make it interesting here or there, but I don't see it changing a whole lot. It's very much of, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And, too much of a good thing can be a bad thing. So we want to make sure we continue down this path, and, everybody's having fun. All the race teams at the end of the year, I emailed every person individually and I said, what can I change to do better? And they said, don't change it. That's what you can change. Don't change it.
Well, you guys did a great job this year, and as I said, a lot of folks noticed. Congratulations on this 23 season, and we look forward to hearing from you again in 2024.
Absolutely. Appreciate it, guys. Like I said, your guys' coverage of us has been awesome and phenomenal. We really appreciate that. We got a couple things up our sleeve for 2024 to hopefully make it even bigger and better. But again, at the core of it, the DNA, you got to grow without growing in a way. It's kind of a difficult task, but it's going to be a lot of fun. And hopefully we see even bigger car counts next year.
Thanks, Brent.
Take care, guys. Speed safely.
Yes, sir. That's Brent Roy with the Super Late Model Series. When we come back, take you around the corner and let you know what you can see on Racing America this weekend.
HMS Motorsport is the leader in motorsport safety, providing the most advanced driver safety products to NASCAR, IndyCar, sprint cars, and sports cars drivers. From grassroots to professional racers, HMS Motorsport has over 25 years' experience outfitting drivers with the best gear on the market. Equipped with first-hand product knowledge, our experts are ready to help you select the best harness belts, seats, head restraints, helmets, and racing attire for your type of racing. HMS is even the exclusive importer for Schroed belts, shoes, Schubert helmets, and Rolero base layers. Visit one of our stores in Mooresville, North Carolina, or Danvers, Massachusetts. Or check us online at hmsmotorsport.com, where you can learn the details of our products and order online. Safety starts here.
What creates a winning combination? Quality, focus, discipline, and most importantly, speed. At Pepperjack Kennels, we provide exceptional water and land training services for hardworking retrievers. From leading in the field to leading on the track, together we establish winning dogs and a winning team. Devoted to retrievers and motorsports, we are Pepperjack Kennels. Visit us online to learn more.
5-Star Bodies, the most advanced bodies on the market. Aerodynamically engineered, manufactured from the highest grade and lightest weight materials. Tested tough for optimum performance. The highest quality and most durable products you'll find anywhere. Our products help racers around the world reach victory lane. Winning never looked so good. Faster, lighter, stronger, better. 5-Star.
Don't miss the 21st annual John Blewett III North-South Shootout in memory of Charles Kepley at Caraway Speedway, November 2nd through the 4th. Plus championship races for the Cars Tour late model stock and pro late models. The ground-pounding tour-type modifieds race for $10,000 to win. Also racing the 602 modifieds and more. It's the 21st annual North-South Shootout at Caraway Speedway, November 2nd through the 4th. For reserved tickets, camping, or info, visit carawayspeedway.com.
Well, we're glad to have you back here with us on Racing America's Bullring, presented by our friends at SRI Performance. And JD, I hope the folks are enjoying this program, but we're going to have a lot of other enjoyable programming this weekend.
Yes, lots of cool stuff. Obviously, it's Friday.
Wait a minute. You're getting way ahead. I haven't even done the graphic yet. Let's go around the corner. All right, now go.
Yeah, there's so much going on this weekend. First of all, obviously, I'm going to do it on Winchester. Friday through Sunday, please go out to Winchester. I promise you won't be disappointed. It's probably one of the coolest places you'll ever be.
And there's lots of racing all 3 days. You can catch it here on
Yes.
RacingAmerica.tv. Of course, ending with Winchester 400 on Sunday for the ASA Stars National Tour. Oxford Plains, their final race of the season will be this weekend. The past 400 returns, of course, it was at Beechridge for a long time. Beechridge, unfortunately, closed a few years ago, and they're bringing the past 400 back this year. We're excited about that. Saturday, that'll be Friday through Sunday as well. Saturday and Sunday, the Claremont Fall Classic up in New Hampshire, up at Claremont Motorsports Park. And on Saturday, we'll be back for Pro Late Model and all sorts of good racing at Veterans Motorplex at Highland Rim.
Lots of good stuff this weekend. You can catch it all here.
Yes, and unfortunately, you noticed we didn't mention the Full Throttle 125 at Citrus County Speedway. If you missed it earlier this week, terrible forecast for this weekend, so they're postponing it. Hopefully, they'll be able to get it in this year, but,
Is the end of the season.
It's tough. It's tough. There's a lot of big races left here between now and the Snowball Derby. So hopefully the folks at Citrus County can get it in. But if not, maybe they'll do 2 next year.
Well, that would be cool at the beginning of the season, the end of the season, do 2.
It'd be great. Well, be sure to check all that out. And, of course, we want you to go to any of those events if you're close by. But if you can't, as JD said, you can watch here on RacingAmerica.tv. We're going to wrap up the show when we come back. Don't go anywhere.
Ready to take your brand to the next level? At Victory Lane Design, we can help. If you are looking for a professional website, cutting-edge logo, a hero card that separates you from the pack, or video production to keep you connected with your fans, then check out VictoryLaneDesign.com, where winning counts.
Don't miss the 21st annual John Blewett III North-South Shootout in memory of Charles Kepley at Caraway Speedway, November 2nd through the 4th. Plus championship races for the Cars Tour late model stock and pro late models. The ground-pounding tour-type modifieds race for $10,000 to win. Also racing the 602 modifieds and more. It's the 21st annual North-South Shootout at Caraway Speedway, November 2nd through the 4th. For reserved tickets, camping, or info, visit carawayspeedway.com.
Get up on your feet, race fans.
SRI Performance and Stock Car Steel are your all-inclusive motorsports warehouses with more than 450 product lines. They have everything to put you in victory lane, from professional racing to street performance. SRI and Stock Car Steel have you covered with leading brands as well as a large selection of steel, aluminum, and plastics. With locations in North Carolina and Indiana, access has never been easier. SRI has the world's largest inventory of used parts. SRI Performance and Stock Car Steel and Aluminum, your one-stop shops for everything racing.
Well, the white flag's out on another Bullring. We want to thank all of our guests today: Keith Rocco, AJ Allmendinger, Roger Mesiemore, Dan Redmond. A lot of folks. Good show today.
Good show. Lots of good people. I always like having people in studio. I think it's fun.
And you did very well on your
Thank you.
first co-hosting on the Bullring.
Yeah.
And we miss Jess.
Yeah, Jess, stop abandoning me.
It would be so nice to have all three of us here, but
took my rookie stripes off. Yeah.
Yeah, you did really good. Really proud of you. And remind everybody, Cars Tour Weekly, Thursday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. The wonderful Zach T. Evans will be joining you, and your guests are going to be Deke McCaskill and Nick Loden.
Yeah, I'm very excited for that. Lots to cover, lots of news coming out here lately, so I'll touch on all that.
And on Racing America, we got some really big stuff going on next week. We're actually not going to be able to do the Bullring and Cars Tour Weekly next week because of some of those things that we're working on, and once those are completed, I think you'll be able to see what we were up to. But we'll be back in a couple of weeks with the Bullring, and then get everybody ready for cars at Tri-County. So for JD Boucher, I'm Alan Dietz saying so long. We'll see you next time on the Bullring.